Thompson Speedway. I'm joined tonight by Sam Dyer. My name is Matthew Rodriguez, and we'll be bringing you the commentary for this race. Sam, out of what you've seen out of practice, what's your hopes for this race?
This race is going to be really tricky for all these drivers coming off turn number 2 and 4. These cars are very loose coming off of the corner, getting on the throttle. They just want to spin around. So we're going to see if these drivers can keep their cars straight and how many green flag runs we actually can run. Because I'm expecting to see a couple of self-spins, and we'll see how many cars get collected when they go around.
Absolutely, and as you saw in the graphic scrolling by the bottom, Tahan Dank took the fastest lap here today. I've also got Tommy Krembor, a very notable name. He's starting a little bit farther back in the lineup.
Yeah, he's going to be starting in 4th, and he's in 1st in our point standings right now. And our 2nd place in point standings, O'Keefe actually did not make the race tonight, which is going to have playoff implications. I mean, not playoff, but championship implications. Sorry about that. But our 3rd place runner of Ryan Gavel is in the race, and he'll be starting in 2nd.
Absolutely. And, I mean, speaking on Gavel, after last week, I mean, that incident that happened later in the race, he didn't lose as many points as we thought he would.
Yeah, these lineups with these races have been a lot smaller than when we started this season off. We were starting off with 24 cars starting off these races, and now we're down to about 14 cars running. And we're going to see how this race goes as the pace car pulls off.
Pace car pulls off. You see Tahan Dank.
Dank going to be taking the lead and going to be running away. What you're going to see a lot of is a one-lane groove here at this track as everyone starts to get into a line. The car to watch out for is going to be the 88 car of Tommy Kamperborg. He is the fastest car during practice. We'll see if he's able to run past everyone. He's gotten up to 3rd. We'll see how it goes as Tahan Dank is going to be staying up front.
Absolutely. Looking at Tahan Dank, he's definitely taken a little bit of a commanding lead, which, I mean, he fell off about midway through his season where he just kind of started sputtering out, but recently in these last few weeks, he's kind of pulled it together and really has put together some good finishes.
There's a car stuck on the wall on the straightaway, finally gets off the wall, and that's going to be Joseph Clark, who finally gets off the wall and is now running. No caution being thrown, but that was a scary situation. He's in the back of the pack in 14th.
Absolutely. I mean, that's going to be the big trouble is, I mean, even both of us are marked in testing, and caution's out.
Caution is out. We're searching to see where.
Jody Banfield went through the infield here. Go ahead and take a look back and just see that instant, what happened.
It's kind of what I was talking about. Coming off these corners, these cars just want to spin around coming off of turn number 2.
Yeah, it looks like, you'll see it here in just a moment, just looks like it got a little bit loose, or at least exiting the corner. Midway through, he just starts really losing it. Yep, at the exit, just kind of slides it, does a good job, locks it down, stays out of trouble. Obviously not what he wanted, but hey, there's worse things to have a torn up race car.
There are also some news up front. I mean, Cronenberg, he's moved up to 2nd place, starting 4th, now up to 2nd. He was fast car again in practice, and he wants to get up front in front of Tahan Dank.
I'm going to tell you, Ryan Gavel, he would love to see that 88 in the back of the pack past the 27 car, which is in 16th place. He's currently, I believe, 13 points back from Kremborg, and Gavel, I believe Gavel may be...
I think it was 18 points?
Oh, sorry, 18 points back from Kremborg, and then 12 points back from O'Keefe. So he should be able to make up the difference tonight on O'Keefe as long as nothing happens. But Kremborg is going to continue with his points gathering.
Yeah, I mean, this is race number 7. There's no playoffs. It's just the points that you get in this 10 race season. And we'll see if this 88 car is able to hold it off. But right now, in our lead, it is Tahan Dank.
Absolutely, just watched him go through the pace laps here. And luckily with Thompson being a much shorter racetrack, the pace laps are much shorter here, but again, the last thing these drivers want to be doing, at least in the terms of Kremborg, is just pacing around.
Looks like they are stacking up, so we are 2 away from the green.
And it's worth noting both the 90 and the 15 car of Ken Zeems and Kenny Zeems, they actually both started on the 15th and 16th positions of the grid. They both have, looks like they've leapfrogged to the 10th and 11th positions. Currently, Joseph Clark is still on pit road, 4 laps down, and Jody Banfield, he got it back going, did not lose a lap, so he's going to try and recover back to a top 5 finish.
Yeah, Clark, he's still in the pits getting that repair like you were saying, but he might be in there for most of the race just due to the fact that he was stuck on the wall for so long. Don't know how much damage he got from all of those instances in the wall. But it looks like we are 1 away.
Pretty sure I say it every race. I mean, just riding around and getting experience at some of these racetracks will make you a better driver rather than just, you know, hey, I get into a lap 1 instant and I just kind of throw in the towel. I mean, anything counts. You see Taehan Dink an amazing restart here. Green flag is back out.
Amazing race start for Dank, and Gavel was thinking about sticking it below the 88 car, but thinks otherwise as they are all straightening out. You have to go back. Oh, it looks like the 11 car goes around off at turn number 2.
Yes, he's currently around. It looks like he may have just tapped the wall a little bit. I don't know if you got any assistance with that. Gonna take a look back here and check. Obviously, going around here is either you just get too loose or you get a little bit of assistance. And it looks like that's going to be the just got a little bit loose category of what we've been seeing here.
Got onto the apron just a little bit and then overcorrected, throwing himself into the wall. Didn't look like he got into anyone else, really.
You can see that black patch of, looks like asphalt, right in between kind of the lower, lighter gray groove. And it looks like as soon as he's kind of put his wheels down there, just kind of lost it. I'm not sure if the grip is more up high or...
I mean, running the middle of the track seems to be the preferred line for most of these drivers. And getting down below that, it's tricky when trying to get onto the throttle. Your car just, like I was saying early on, your car just wants to spin around, as we are now 12 laps into this 88-lap race with our second caution of the day.
And it's worth noting that Scott Rickard, who's actually been on a roll as of late, just getting some nice finishes and not flashy, but just being consistent. He's currently running back in the 12th position. Looks like he's going to go down pit road here. But just notable that some of these drivers that just work through consistency, they're going to have a tougher time here at Thompson, just with the lack of green flag time and also just how difficult it is to get off these corners.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing you really got to be afraid of, which we haven't seen yet, is when a car spins around. This track is very narrow, and it's easy for someone to get collected just by seeing someone spin out in front of them. So a lot of these drivers have to stay in the groove and stay clean. As I was watching Michael Timmerman and Josh Walker, and it looked like Timmerman was just going back and forth, keeping his tires warm, and Walker got a little close and they tapped each other. Hopefully they can stay more clean during these yellow flag runs.
Absolutely. Just take a little bit of a break during the caution period. And it's worth noting Ryan Gavel. I mean, what would your thoughts be after coming off a race where, hey, the points are almost deadlocked, and hey, an incident happens to you? Yes, you did rally back for, I believe, a top 5 finish, but again, that really hurts.
I mean, Gavel right now has to be thinking win as many races as he can. He's got 3 shots coming to the end here. And he's got to win it and hope the 88 car has some bad finishes, gets into some accidents, and isn't able to have a great run. And that's the best scenario for Gavel.
Looks like the lights on the pace car are out, so we're going to be going green this lap. It's just been constant this entire season of whoever's the leader usually gets a great jump on the second place car, and the third place car is usually slow to react. I mean, that's just the advantage of, you know, knowing when you're going to go, and everyone else is just really afraid to jump the restart.
As the pace car is now pulling off, Taehan Dank's going to be pulling away. We're just seeing if Gavel's able to put it down, and he does!
Gavel gets hit!
The 88 car and the 77 touch, but they stay going straight. It's going to be close. All these guys are right on top of one another, but Taehan Dank is going to be the one who's going to be pulling away.
cautions out. Looks like maybe Zach in the 44. Oh, still wrecking back here. Looks like Zach Skanotsky in the 44 and the 2 of Josh Walker was involved. Let's go ahead and take a look back. Take a look here. And it just looks like all the calamities always happen off of turn 2.
That was one of the trickier spots during practice, was coming off of turn 2. A lot of these cars were just spinning around. They were only lasting for about maybe 1 to 2, sometimes even 3 laps before they were spinning around, self-spinning, or just getting involved with someone else.
It looks like Josh in the 2 just gave the 44 just a little bit of assistance getting around. And it's worth noting that all these throwback schemes really look cool. One notable is Kremborg in the 88 actually running one. That's why you see him in a different scheme than his usual. But we're under our third caution, lap 18, going into lap 19. We've seen pretty much takers for pit stops every lap. It looks like William Kruska is taking a pit stop here currently as he runs off the end of pit road. And the 9 of Patrick Hoosier. I mean, he has had an up and down season. He's had some notable periods where he's gotten a good finish, but I mean, I remember a lot of the races where he's just kind of getting pile drive by just wrecks that weren't really of his own doing.
And you're talking about Hozier on that one?
Yes, Hozier. My apologies, I keep mistaking the tire manufacturer.
Totally all right. As pace car lights are still going, it looks like they're stacking up, getting ready to go. It seems like a lot of if you're in the back half, like in the last back 4 cars are always coming into the pits. Once caution comes around, is what I've been noticing. But these front guys, I mean, there's no reason to come and pit. We've seen them all season long. Not having to really pit, feeling strong with these tires. They don't really drop off as much as you'd expect them to.
Now, it's worth noting that the track temp actually is currently 79 degrees and the temp around the racetrack 77. So that really plays adversely into the hands of the drivers because obviously you want as much heat in these tires as possible just to get the maximum amount of grip. And hey, if you're fighting both a cold racetrack and cold tires, I mean, that's going to work adversely for you. So I'm not sure about the strategy of taking tires every caution, but if it's working, don't change it.
Working, or just seeing if fresher tires is better than what the leaders are having. The real key, though, is for us to have a green flag run. That's what a lot of these drivers need, is to go green, as our top 4 are been the fastest even in practice and during the race.
Yeah, because I'd say it wasn't last week or last race, it was the USA International. During that race, tires played a huge factor past the 50 lap mark once they started going green. See, pace car is off. Looks like Kremborg gets an amazing jump on the outside.
He timed that perfectly. Kremborg goes up to the lead, and there goes Rick Thompson Jr. spinning around, which causes other cars to get involved. As the 11 car also involved, and for the 12, or was it the 2? That was the 12 car that was also involved in that accident.
Yes, that'd be the 2 of Josh Walker. Looks like he just has a trading paint scheme. Show him 12. But let's go ahead and take a look back and see what caused it. We caught that a little bit out of our screen. It looks like he may have just got a little bit of assistance going around. Looks like Gavel actually may have pushed up the racetrack just a little bit here. Taking a look back, see Gavel in the corners push up just slightly, gets into the right or left rear quarter panel, and I mean, it looks like Josh Walker in the 11 and the 2 car almost looked like a chain reaction wreck where we're trying to get ready to avoid him. It looks like Walker may have just pushed up the racetrack and accidentally hit the 11. Gotta take a look back at that incident. Well, actually, my apologies. No, that was Jody Banfield in the 12.
You know, it's the one thing that I've been noticing with this series is once one caution happens, it likes to give birth to even more cautions, and that's what we're noticing. These cars are so close, and like I was saying, with the track being so narrow, there's not a lot of space, and everyone wants to try to run the middle of the pack. I mean, middle of the track, and it's hard right now with everyone being so close to really get in your comfort zone and just start to try to run smooth lap times, except for everyone's running at the same pace here under caution.
Absolutely. And it's worth noting that Kremborg got an amazing jump at last time, almost like I think he got used to Dank's or pretty much a takeoff zone, where he's just saying, all right, this is when I'm going to take off. So it is worth noting for some of these drivers that you just kind of see the more veteran drivers really decide to say, hey, I'm going to take off at different points just to try and throw people off. I mean, I've heard playing games in the restarts where, hey, I'll take the outside line and I'll try to stay as close to your side as possible so I can hide the restart markers so you don't know where you are, or you don't know where you are, and I'm just going to take off.
Yeah, I mean, Dank, for those first 3 restarts, he was waiting until the pace car pulled off, and then he took off immediately. And that time, the 88 car just timed it to where when he saw the pace car go off, that's when he started taking off and got the better jump.
We're still under caution here. Do you see a few takers on pit road? Scott Rickard is making his stop. Also, the 11 is just taking new tires, trying to fix a little bit of that damage. And it's worth noting back in that replay that we saw with 12 getting into the 11 car, he actually got a little bit of assistance from Zach in the 44. But that was pretty much just a chain reaction where he couldn't do anything.
Looks like the 88 car is going to be taking the top side this time around. As we were seeing.
It worked well for him last time.
It did, and Dank took the inside all the first 3 restarts, and now we're going to see a different strategy here from Dank. I mean, not from Dank, from Kremborg. Man, it is. I'm still trying to recover from this holiday season. We're in 2020, and it's crazy to think as the drivers are getting ready to go this time around.
We made it this long, so. And pace car is off. Kremborg looks like he's going to get a good restart here. Wow,
Dank did not go.
Going. Dank just did not get going. Loses, looks like 2, almost 3 positions here. If Gavel can get outside of Gavel, almost wrecks it.
Gavel getting loose off that.
Looks like Kremborg is taking a dominating stance in front of the field. Looking back in the lineup of Tahan Dank. Tahan Dank just did not get going on that restart. I mean, I don't know if he spun his tires or he just kind of got thrown off by having the inside line but just couldn't take off.
I mean, that hurt that inside line so much, but the biggest winner right now has to be the 88 car, who got a great launch. And the car that's really a surprise, it's got to be the 15 car in 3rd place. He went from starting last place, did not even qualify, put down a lap time, but somehow he is up to 3rd with a man on a mission right now.
Yeah, definitely a good showing for him. And, you know, you do have those people who just never want to qualify. I'm personally one of them. I mean, just ride out the cautions, work your way up through the field. Don't race up in the front of the pack and get caught in the big wreck. So, I mean, hats off to him. He's definitely driven off, but it looks like Tahan Dank's on a mission trying to get back up.
Dank getting a huge run off of turn number 4. Now going to be getting right on top of the 15 car. We're going to see how is passing around. Oh, the 15 car got very loose off that corner.
So loose off of that. Looks like Dank's going to take advantage. I don't know. Looks like Dank's trying to almost diamond the corners. He's really going in that patch. Wow. 98 of Evan Nugent looks like he touched the wall a little bit coming off that corner.
So did the 15 car. They both touched the wall, which is now giving Dank a better position to get up to his 2nd as he's catching the 98.
It's worth noting that Kremborg has pretty much just drove away. I mean, he's put a good 2nd on Evan Nugent here in 2nd.
Another car that has been moving up since this caution flag. It's got to be Rick Thompson, who was the initial caution for that last time, but he's been moving up from about 12th, now up to 7th.
Absolutely. And he's one of those guys where consistency is really key with him. I mean, we've seen the last few weeks of people just getting in wrecks and, you know, normally consistent guys just running poorly.
running laps. Now, something we also got to watch out for is all of these lap cars that the 88 car is going to catch up to.
Yes, it looks like the first car he'll run into is the 05 of Scott Rickard.
Oh, yellow flag.
Looks like Zach in the 44 just got maybe a little bit loose coming off of 2 and just kind of slid it. Let's go ahead and take a look back here.
That's exactly what happened. Got into the throttle just a little bit too strong and just lost it coming off the corner. Turn 2, where all the accidents have been happening. And it claims another driver.
Man, I'm not shy to admit, I mean, this track is one of the more difficult tracks, and it doesn't look like it at first glance. I mean, as we see the 44 just come off the corner here, almost tried to power out of the spin and got to the back straightaway before he stopped, so that's at least impressive.
I mean, the hardest part about this track has got to be the banking.
Looks like Josh Walker into 2 has called it quits for today. Looks like he's hung it up and left the session. So I believe that actually was the cause of damage where he just pretty much said he was done for the night.
Also, for a car that came into the pits, it's going to be the 15 of Kenny Zims. He came in, and so did the 90 of Ken Zims.
And it's worth noting, it looks like William Kruska and Nick Rayberg, I believe. It looks like they've both actually called it quits here for tonight. I believe Nick in the 11 was a result of damage on that one incident with the 12 of Banfield. And Kruska, I believe he just said he didn't want to tear up his equipment and just called it a night.
So that leaves 12 cars running out there on the track that are all on the lead lap.
As we're just pacing behind the pace car, looks like we may get a 2 to green here this time as they get ready to start doubling up here.
You gotta wonder, is the bottom line or wherever second place is, are they going to be able to get a clean run? As we saw that last restart when Tan Dink spun his tires and really clogged everyone up to where they couldn't go anywhere. How much these cold tires can hurt you if you're not able to get a clean run.
I mean, I'm going to tell you as a driver, after seeing that last restart, I'd rather be in any lane other than the one that Tahan Denk is running in. Because I'd be scared of a repeat.
You gotta wonder what happened in that situation.
It could have just been cold tires, just didn't warm up enough.
Could have been. We just got word that the 88 car is going to be taking the top side once again. So we'll see if the inside line is going to get a better restart here, or if they're all going to be clogged up once again like last time.
I will say this really opens up the door for Gavel. If Gavel can time this restart well, he can get past both the 98 and 37.
We're going to be going green here on lap 43. We're past halfway. Right now, looks like this race is all in the 88 car's hands as the pace car runs off.
Kremborg gets a good start. Looks like Gavel actually follows him through. Nugent just did not get going in that restart, but Gavel timed it perfectly.
I mean, this is the first time that Nugent's been in that situation. One of the cars got really loose and just fell down. I think that might have been Rick Thompson that got very loose off too, but kept it straight.
So you got to think of Ryan Gavel's perspective here. I mean, you're down in points. You really need good finishes or wins to get back into this. We've only got 3 races left in the season. So, I mean, if you want to make a mount to the championship, you've got to do it now.
Tan Dank's going to be moving up to 3rd. So, like, the 98 was just letting him easily go on by, trying to keep everything clean. A car that was moving forward but just spun out is going to be Michael Timmerman.
Looking back here, yeah, it looks like he was another victim of that. Coming off of turn 2, where it just gets so slick or so loose on you.
Zimmerman got a little loose and then got a little bit of a tap from Rick Thompson. And I was just about to say, Timmerman was doing a good job moving up through the pack. I mean, he started around the 12th position, but was up to around 5th place and then gets spun around. Hate to see it, but there's still plenty of races in here where he can move up.
It just looks like he touched that little area right below that black strip in turn 2 and just kind of gets loose and slides it around. I mean, again, the saving grace about turn 2 is, yes, it's been grabbing a lot of drivers here tonight, but at least you haven't hit anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the luck that there is no inside wall for people to go smashing into. A lot of cars are saving it before they get too much into the grass.
And we've just passed the halfway point about 7 laps ago. We're currently running lap 48 here in just a moment of 80. I mean, since we've got half the race over, I mean, what's your take here? Who's your pick?
Right now, I got to give it to the 88 car. He's been looking very clean, and being in the lead, you really have all the power of when you're going to take off on these restarts. And honestly, if someone's not picking up on when you're restarting, you can get to a pretty lengthy lead that we've been seeing the 88 get. Ryan Gavel has been showing some speed, but I don't think he has enough speed to get past the 88 car. Little updates, though, is that the 11 and the 27 that were in pit road have started running, so they could be getting a couple more positions just by starting to run now.
Absolutely. I do have to say, I'd say my pick has to be Ryan Gavel because, I mean, he's got motivation going into this race. A little bit of a chip on his shoulder saying, hey, I'm in a rut. I need to kind of work my way out of it. And also that last restart, I mean, he just kind of looked like a man on a mission going from 4th to 2nd.
Yeah, I mean, also, Carp, you got to watch out for it's got to be Tahan Dank, who's been looking very strong. I mean, yeah, he had his awful restart that made him go all the way back to 6th place, but he has moved up to 3rd, and he's been looking quick. I mean, he's passed all the cars that he has to get into this position, but I think he has the speed to get past Gavel and could get past the 88 car.
Absolutely. We still pace under here at caution. I will say, both seeing Rick Thompson Jr. and Jody Banfield up here in the 5th and 6th positions, a little bit of a surprise after they both were involved in different incidents, 74 being the first incident and Jody Banfield being the one to give the bumper a little bit to the 11 car.
Yeah, with the pace car lights out, we're going to be going this time by. But those two drivers, I mean, it was early on when they had those accidents, so they had the time to come in. A lot of accidents have happened since then. Cars been getting loose off the corners, losing spots here and there. So we'll see who's able to survive the rest of this race as we're coming to lap 51 of 80.
And I will say, I believe that Jody Banfield may be the newest one on tires this year. Looks like Gavel got a pretty good restart along with Krenborg. Looks like Krenborg's going to have a more dominant run. See Gavel just make up so much time in the middle of that corner.
We got an accident in the back. It's going to be the 05 and this 11 getting involved.
Looks like they get it back going here. But just seeing the launch that 77 got out of at turn 1 and 2.
Also, a little bit of a freak accident that happened on that restart was going to be the 12 car and the 74 as they get into one another on that restart, which causes the 12 car to go into the infield, not causing the initial accident, but not being the one that causes the caution to come out, but does make him lose a lot of spaces going all the way down to 11th.
It's quite shocking. We were just mentioning them a minute ago and saying, man, you guys did great for keeping out of trouble and you get right back in it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the infield incident here first with both the 77 and the 12 and the 74 car. So there's 74 just kind of pushes up the track a little bit. The 12 walks it down, doesn't hit anything, gets back rolling. Just a little bit of an anomaly there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the incident with the 05 and the 11 car. It may just be really sure here. Go ahead and take a look. You just see the 05 kind of run the corner here. Gets a little bit of a tap from the 17 of Michael Timmerman. He stayed pretty silent tonight. And the 11 just kind of got the innocent bystander there, just running straight into him. But that's what puts us under our 7th caution here of the day. Krenborg is still your leader. He's led a good majority of these laps. Ryan Gavel, he's definitely made some strides to try and challenge Krenborg, but nothing just solid yet.
Yeah, I think Gavel's slowly figuring out when Krenborg's going to be going on these restarts. As you saw in that last restart, he got a little bit of tire spin, which caused him not to get side by side going into turn number 1. But he did get the right jump. He just, if his tires didn't spin as much as they did, I think he would have been side by side and battling for the lead.
And you've got to look, I mean, both Ryan Gavel and Tommy Kremborg, they're both friends, and they're actually both in the same Discord channel. So, I mean, they can hear each other as they race. So, I mean, having someone that you race against in the same channel, being able to talk to you while you're trying to chase him down, trying to run away from him, I mean, what does that do to your psyche? What does that do to your confidence?
I mean, if you're in the same Discord, you're usually trying to work with one another, and right now I know they're battling for points and for the championship against one another, but I mean, you're helping one another out in some ways. Sometimes you're helping out by saying, hey, when I'm going to take off and when I'm not. And honestly, right now, being side by side, they might be like, I'm going to take off now, and you can take off a little bit sooner, or they could be working together in those aspects of when they're going to restart.
Absolutely. Looks like the pace car lights are out here. You see Ryan Gavel pulling right up next to that 88 of Kremborg. Kremborg gets a good start. Looks like Gavel stays right with him.
Gavel's just getting in there into the line, barely. Dank almost getting on him, but
Gavel
Dank,
gets way loose.
that was Dank that got a little loose. As Gavel stays up front. It looks like we're staying clean for now. Well, here we go. Coming into turn number 3, I believe. No, that's turn number 1, coming off turn number 2.
Gavel still trying to chase Kremborg down. He knows that this is really his best chance to get to his back bumper before Gavel gets a chance to really set himself on a run. Or my apologies, Kremborg gets himself really setting a run and is able to pull away.
Those two are battling it out, but our cars that were side by side were battling out.
So loose out of 2.
I mean, caution's out. And it's a big pack-up of 3 cars being involved in the 15, the 12, and the 05.
Looks like the 17 was also involved here. Go ahead and take a look back at that incident. Gotta look, that was a good part of the field. Looks like Scott Rickard actually went airborne.
Oh, but it looks like it's the 15 car that starts it all off. Coming off of turn number 2, the deadly corner so far. Gets loose off the corner, overcorrects, and everyone else is there to be collected.
See, that's the thing where we've seen wrecks all tonight where we're able just to really get it set and slide off to the infield out of everyone's range. But you see here, 15 just gets a little bit loose, tries to overcorrect, snaps it towards the wall, and pretty much you're giving wrecking ball in the middle of the track. Just everyone gets collected. Go ahead and take a look from Scott Rickard's view, honestly. Kind of curious what he saw in the...
I mean, he was just running his line and had nowhere else to go.
That's short track racing for you. I mean, you've got nowhere to go. You have no reaction time here. I mean, really, there's nothing you can do.
And that's going to be taking a lot more cars that are going to be damaged. I mean, that's up to about 9th place now with cars that have damage.
Let's go ahead and go back to the pacing here. That puts us under our 8th caution of the day. We've got a little bit more cars in pit road here.
Looks like the 12 cars going to be coming in to get a little bit more damage repair on his car. This 15 is also getting damage repair. I think a lot of these cars are going to be out here getting repairs for a while.
I will say, I mean, I'd say that caution was almost a savior to Gavel, because Gavel got really loose coming off of that turn 2 and lost a bunch of time.
Yeah, it looked like he was about to lose even 2nd place to Dank, but luckily that caution came out to save him. Turn 2, I mean, that is the corner that you have to be careful of. If you're in the lead or in the back of the pack, it just looks so dangerous. Everyone's getting loose off that corner, except for that 88 car who's been looking strong almost in every corner.
So I know we're getting back to green here in just a moment, but but it's worth noting that this is a throwback race again, and the 44 of Zach Skanotsky, he's running a throwback scheme to Mike Stefnik. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. My apologies if I butchered it. But he's running that throwback scheme tonight in the 44.
Pace car lights are out, and we're about to go green. Pace car's off, and there goes the 88 car, getting a nice clean run, and doesn't look like Gavel's going to get there in time. But moving up into fourth, it's going to be the 98 car. And
Nugent gets moved.
Nugent goes around. Gavel gets into the wall. Dank's going to be right there. But man, that was some huge spin in front of everyone.
I was really concerned with that move because I saw Gavel kind of cut up right before that start-finish line. Man, this isn't going to work. I don't think he has enough room for this. And he wasn't the one paying the price. It was Nugent that actually paid the price for that one. He got a little bit of assistance going around. Looks like it was from the 44 that we were just speaking of. Let's go ahead and take a look back here. But coming back to that restart, we've got our focus here on the 80, 98 Nugent. It's right back, and Gavel kind of backs off. Oh no, Tahan Dank actually helped him around. Looks like Dank may have actually ran a little bit of a higher line, just gotten a little bit in the right or left rear of him. Doesn't look like he hit anything way too hard, just slid up the racetrack, so it's very fortunate for him, but obviously he's going to be frustrated running on the top of the field for majority of this race, and then, hey, with less than pretty much 10 laps to go, you're put back to 10th.
I mean, that's the one thing, though, is that there's so many cars that are left down at this moment, and with how small the field is, that you're only going down to 10th. Still able to get some points out of this. But, yeah, you hate to see that. I mean, you got a great restart that put him into third, but then gets spun around. Luckily, no one else was involved in that accident. I mean, it was so risky and scary, him being up in third. Could have taken out a lot more cars.
That's correct. I mean, just looking at how the field's running, I mean, you get less than, as soon as you get back green, it'll probably be 10 laps to go or less than 10 laps to go. And you got to be thinking of Gavel here. I mean, he's thinking, hey, it's go time. And I've tried getting around him nicely. I mean, as we saw in the second, third races of the season, I mean, they're not afraid to move people for a win. I mean, it's almost not for a win anymore. It's pretty much for a championship at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even if he goes around and somehow the 88 car does get spun out, pretty sure the furthest back that he'll be is probably 10th or 11th. Just based on...
I'm pretty sure I can safely say, coming out of Thompson, the 88 of Kremborg is going to be the points leader. It's just by how much.
Yeah, and you've got the number one car in points in the 88 car in first, and then you got the car in third in points and second place in this race. It's going to be risky to see what moves you want to make here if you want to put the bumper down. We've been seeing a lot. We saw it earlier where we saw someone got spun around. I believe it was when the 12 car spun the 11 that both of them were involved in that accident where the 11 spun out, got stuck in front of the 12, and they really couldn't go anywhere. So both cars were damaged in that accident. So that's the risk of trying to do a bump and run on someone. But it is still something, a play that you can make if you want to go for the win here, which Gavel needs these points and needs to get the win.
And, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm counting him out early, but I mean, you got to be wary of people like Tahan Dank. I mean, I don't want to say he's out of the championship, but I mean, he's a few races, or at least a couple races behind in points to the big three, basically. I mean, you got to be wary of people like him who are willing to say, hey, I mean, my championship run may be done, but I still want to win races. And they've got nothing to lose, where you've got the bigger prize to lose.
Lights are out. Top four cars have been your fastest cars on the track all race long, as the 88 car is going to be pulling away, and the Gavel pulls up again, blocking Thompson, Thompson gets into Gavel just a little bit, but it's going to be doing absolutely nothing to them right now. They're going to be staying straight and pulling away. It's going to be the 88 car.
Man, it's just worth noting that Gavel, or Kremborg's car, just is so stable out of his corners. We'll see Gavel, I mean, he's almost dirt tracking out of the corners.
Here we go. 8 laps to go. Who's going to win it? The 88 car has been looking all race long. Coming after 2, everyone's going to be staying clean. Oh, I take that all back. Caution's out.
Caution's out. We're looking back through the field here. It might have been Michael Timmerman. May have gotten a little bit of a help or a little bit of loose out of turn 2. Let's go ahead and take a look back here.
Ooh, looks like the 44 car got loose off 2, and Timmerman was trying to avoid him. Got himself loose and spun around.
Yeah, it's almost like a two-pronged incident here. So let's go ahead and focus on the 44 here for a minute. He does get a little bit of loose on the corner, so it's one here. See him start to slide up just a little bit to get way out of the groove. See, he kind of slides off the corner. 17 almost looks like he just kind of jerks it down, trying to avoid him, and obviously spins it out. But I mean, better choice in hitting the 44 in the door. So, I mean, still keeps both cars in the race.
Both cars are still running. So far, looking through the pack, our biggest mover is going to be Ken Zims, who's in the 90 machine, who started off in 15th and now is in 5th. But we've only got now 5 laps to go.
It's worth noting, yeah, Ken Zims, he started, I believe, 15th position, worked his way up to a good top 5 finish. I'm guessing his brother, Kenny Zims, he has retired from the race. It looks like he'll be currently scored 12th here at the end of this race. I don't believe Joseph Clark's going to have enough time to get through it.
Another car that has left the race and is no longer running, it's going to be Nick Rainberg, who was the number 11.
It's kind of unfortunate days for them all. I mean, you never want to be caught in these incidents, but it's, hey, once you get caught in them, it's damage control, and unfortunately, it's hard to do damage control when it rains, it pours.
All right, so just looking back on all these restarts so far, we've been seeing that Gavel has been trying to get side by side on the straightaways, but when it doesn't work, he's throwing his car back in line where it barely fits. Is there a chance that we could see, if whoever's in 4th place gets a good run with the 88 car, that if Gavel tries to throw his car back up, he could get spun out and wreck his car right here?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be afraid doing that. I mean, you saw with the 98 of Evan Nugent, I mean, he got right on his bumper going into that corner before he actually got, hit and spun out. So, I mean, obviously, as a driver, you don't like people cutting up in front of you because you obviously have to check out. You have to kind of be wary, but it's going to be a green-white checkered finish here. We're going to go green on lap 79.
Pace car lights are off. They're going green this time by with a green-white checkered. Is the 88 car going to hold it? Is the 77 going to get a nice run to maybe battle here? I think if 77 isn't sideways, isn't side by side going into turn number 1, this race is all the 88s.
I mean, miracles happen. Looks like Kremborg gets an amazing start. Gavel's right there with him. Gavel looks like he slides up right behind him. See the 74 right on him.
Caution flag is out.
Looked at a Scott Rickard possible. But take a look back here. I believe it was for Scott Rickard.
It was the 44 car that went around.
Oh.
44 car, right when the race went green, had an instance there with, I believe, the 12? Yes, the 12 car.
Oh, wow. No chance there. Let's go ahead and take a look back here. See the 44 car distance here. It doesn't look like we're going to get any green-white checkered, so it looks like Kremborg may be declared the winner of his race.
Another win for the 88 car. I believe that's win number
4, I believe?
I was going to say, I think so. With your top 3 going to be Tommy Kremberg getting your win, Ryan Gavel getting 2nd, and Richard Thompson Jr. going to get 3rd.
I mean, that was just an amazing drive out of Rick Thompson. I mean, going from halfway wrecked all the way back to 3rd. I mean, that's really an achievement itself.
Yeah, I mean, the 88 car, really the move of the race. had to be when he finally got the jump onto Dank, got him in the lead, and he never looked back from there on out. Ryan Gavel trying to get past the idiot car, but was not able to, but still getting a very good finish in second. And Richard Thompson with a solid third place after the adventurous day he had.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our finishing order here. Obviously, yes, you do see Kremborg gets another win on this season, and again, that puts Gavel into a much bigger hole. It is safe to say that Kremborg gets a good points lead coming out of this. Gavel may have cut into the points lead just a little bit, but his biggest gain will be on the second of Riley O'Keefe.
As we continue looking at where everyone finished, I'm going to have to leave the rest of the broadcast to you, Matt. I have to take off, but you guys have a great rest of your night.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us here. I'll go ahead and we'll pull in the top 3 for interview. Let's go ahead and see if we can get our third place finisher, Rick Thompson, here. Hello, Rick. This is Matthew in the Flatout Racing Network booth. How you doing?
Good.
All right. So, I mean, you go in the beginning of the race getting spun around. You've gotten knocked around a few times, and you still come back for third. I mean, how'd you do it?
I really don't know. The car was snap loose on exit. It was definitely a long one. Just tried to keep my head on my shoulders and get back up to the front.
It's worth noting that almost everyone's gotten a little bit loose off of 2. I mean, was there just something different about that corner where, hey, coming out of 2 was a lot more snappy than 4?
I don't know. It's usually this track's kind of loose off of 2 and fine off of 4, but this time it was just a lot more loose.
So obviously this gives you good momentum going into next week. I mean, how do you feel?
Feeling pretty good. Concord's not one of my good tracks, but we're gonna try giving it our all. This hopefully will put us into third, and we're just gonna try bringing it in and bringing it home.
Absolutely. So I'll go ahead and I'll give you a chance if anyone you want to shout out or say thanks to.
Just my teammate Nick and Caleb Feige and Dylan Holland for making the paint schemes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, Rick.
All right, thank you.
That was our third place finisher, Rick Thompson Jr. Again, pretty much pulling from adversity, coming back all the way here to third. So let's go ahead and pull in our second place finisher, Ryan Gavel. Hello, Ryan. This is Matthew in the Flatout Racing Network booth. So I've got a few questions to go through here. So big one that both myself and Sam had was, were you ever afraid of getting turned? I mean, whenever you get back in that restart and you just decide to jump up into that high line?
Yeah, that that was definitely a dangerous move there. I did it once there. I think it was the second last restart on Rick, especially. That was too close, to be honest. Probably shouldn't have done it, but it paid off in the end, I guess. But yeah, this whole race was a code brown, if you may. It was definitely heart pounding, scary race from how loose the car was out of 2 to having myself at least to restart on the bottom just about every restart. Yeah, was not as exactly as I wish it would have gone. I wish it was a little calmer, at least. If I could have just restarted on the top, that would have been great. And turn 2 was just horrifying all night long. But yeah, it was pretty good overall, though.
I do have to ask, I mean, if there was a green-white checker there at the end, do you think you had enough in the tank to get the Tommy, or?
I will say Tommy was definitely faster than me all night long, but I mean, it's very easy to make a mistake around here. I was just kind of banking on that. I had a pretty good run on him. I wish we didn't get that last caution. If I could have been behind him at least and maybe had a chance to get to his bumper on the last lap. I had a pretty decent restart and run out of turn 2 there on that last restart. So would have been interesting to see how that went out, but he definitely was the faster car and deserved the win, if anybody.
Then looking ahead to next week at Concord, I mean, also factoring the point standings here, currently you're nowhere, I don't think, near the lead because Kremborg has a good, I think about good 20 points. But it's worth noting that O'Keefe wasn't here tonight, so I believe you may have actually jumped into second place.
Yeah, it's a shame that he couldn't make it tonight, but kind of we were really close in points, the two of us, but now he's obviously fallen out of it. But Tommy's got a real good lead. I'm going to need some misfortune on his part to have a chance at him at this point. It was close up until Irwindale when I got taken out there. Pretty much took me out of contention. I don't want to say that yet. Still definitely have a chance, but sitting second right now, and I'm going to see what I can do these last few weeks. All I can do is push as hard as I can and try to beat Tommy, and I can't really do anything to make him do worse other than pass him, but we'll see how the next few weeks goes.
Does that give you any motivation just to go a little bit harder? I mean, hey,
Yeah.
Kremborg's in front of you just to bump him out of the way a little bit?
Yeah, at this point I might have to. I mean, he's so dang fast. I know these next few weeks are at smaller tracks where these big tracks where he's been just playing faster. I haven't had the opportunities to move him that I wish I would have had at these smaller tracks, but I know Lanier and Concord are going to be interesting, so we'll see how we can do there. And I think New Smyrna to end out the year. We'll see how that goes, but still enough races left to close the gap if all goes to plan, but we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. And of course, as always, like you've done almost every week, I will go ahead and give you the opportunity to shout at anyone or say thanks.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to everyone watching the stream. Race Champions Modified, Sim Racers for Mental Health, you guys running the stream. You do a good job every week. Everything goes well. My girlfriend's out there watching. Everyone out there. It's another week saying the same thing, but I can't.
We're going to have to start handing you a bingo sheet with new things.
I know. I got to think of new things. It's the same thing.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with us, Ryan. We'll go ahead and wish you luck for next week, and hopefully we're going to speak to you last next week.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan. All right, as our second place finisher, Ryan Gavel, coming back from that last week's incident, to rally back to a second place finish here. Hopefully he can get himself righted back in the championship standings. Let's go ahead and bring in the first place finisher, Tommy Kremborg.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, Tommy. I keep trying to move you into the same room, and you're already here. So how are you? I've got to keep asking, how in the world do you keep doing this? I mean, you keep getting first place finishes. I mean, you've got a good, I'm going to say about 20-ish point lead. I mean, are you fearing anything? Are you looking back and saying, well, Gavel still has a chance to kind of get me, or?
As of right now, I'm just trying to finish in the top 10. Just hold that spot where I'm at. Not really like go for positions. Like if it happens like tonight where I'm up there, I'm going to obviously try my best to keep it, but I'm not going to wreck over not letting someone by if they're faster.
I mean, you were pretty much on autopilot tonight. I mean, I think you led about 50, 60 laps.
Yeah, I knew when I got that jump, I think it was Dank I got it on. I knew I was going to be in a good spot to hold the car and keep her going.
It almost looked like you juked out Dank. I mean, Dank just did not get going.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. I think I just caught him by surprise.
And then I guess a very notable portion is Riley O'Keefe. He's not here tonight, so that pretty much
He's
extends
actually
your lead.
he's on a ski trip with his family.
Ah.
Yeah, he's not gonna be happy.
Yeah. But I mean, ski is fun.
Skiing is fun. I don't know how fun it is. It's fun. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but
I mean, recreational. But but as we do this almost every week, anyone you want to say thanks to or shout out?
Definitely Mike Stefanik. I ran his paint scheme this week. I was very excited to run it. I know I ran it last week, not knowing today was throwback weekend, but yeah, definitely him, my mom, my dad.
Well, I mean, it's a cool enough paint scheme to run twice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, going into next week, I believe our next week here is at Concord. I mean, do you got any momentum going there? I mean, good track for you, bad track for you?
It depends on what the track state's at. If it's at night, I think I can do pretty well. But whenever it's daytime, I'm awful there. So we'll see how that goes. And I know Riley's really quick there, no matter what.
see him come back with winning the last looks like two two races of the season.
Yeah, I'm just hoping I finish each race out with the best of a finish as I can.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for speaking with us here, Tommy.
Yeah, no problem.
So we'll go ahead and wish you luck next week, and hopefully we'll be talking in the same position.
Yeah, hopefully.
Alrighty. So that was our first place finisher, Tommy Kremborg. After that race, I mean, he's got a good 15, 20 point lead on the second place points position here. It's worth noting that Tahan Dank, I don't believe he advanced his position in the points at all, but Riley O'Keefe definitely took the biggest hit tonight. He was about, I believe, 6 points back of Kremborg going into this race. And now he's easily at least battling or at least in third place points position. So that's definitely going to be storylines looking going to next week. I mean, just seeing Gavel's incident last week shows how vulnerable you are. If, hey, you have a bad finish, you have a little bit of a hiccup because at least O'Keefe and Gavel and Kremborg, I mean, they're just on it. So, I mean, one little slip up can put you far back in points. So that'll do it for our broadcast here tonight. We hope you enjoyed the new graphic elements, taking a little bit of getting used to. Also, nice 1080p quality. We'll be back with you here on Monday with the Elite Racing League Mega Driver 86 Xfinity Series as they go into their, I believe, their second round of their playoffs here. So that'll be all from us tonight. Thank you very much. And you've been watching another production of the Flatout Racing Network.